How goes the family? Welcome back to Larry's Anything. Happy Thanksgiving to all you great people out there. Hope you guys are going to enjoy your time with your loved ones and friends and all that great stuff. I was going to talk about a topic that's near and dear to my heart, so if I go off on a tangent, I apologize early because it's a subject matter that's near and dear to me, and I have to get it off my chest. And it's a subject matter basically revolves around Amazon coming to the DMV, the Washington, D.C., Maryland, Northern Virginia area. It's already been announced in the news. There are 50,000 people coming to the East Coast, 25,000 are going to New York City, another 25,000 are coming to the DMV area. It's going to be actual locations, going to be Crystal City, which is right outside of Washington, D.C. And obviously, the family members are going to be coming at the same time. So I would probably bump that number up to almost maybe 50,000 to probably 55,000 people coming because of their families coming. And what does this all have to have in common with? People that live in this video really is just for people in the DMV or people that are going to be moving to the DMV because it's a big transient area, especially with the military population and the federal government and government contract population that we have here. People come and go on a regular basis, and this video is all about changing the mindset of the high paid individuals, because in this area people are known to make six figures. That's why a lot of people come here, because they can't make this kind of money anyplace else in the United States that they would like to live in, so they come here to do it. And a lot of times people are miserable because they put themselves in financial situations to where they just have to have everything is dependent on the job and not dependent on their quality of life and happiness and things of that nature. They look forward to the vacation instead of looking forward to getting up every day. That's just my personal observation, given the fact that I grew up in this area and I noticed a change in the dynamics of a lot of things. But that is the thing that's happening. And I'm sure it's the same in a lot of other areas, but for all intents and purposes, this video is strictly talking about the DMV area. Okay, so let's get to it. Amazon is coming to the DMV, and it's not a big secret, right? So with that being said, usually when an area gets an influx of a lot of jobs, a lot of the local people do not benefit, and you would think that that is not usually the case, but it actually is the case. A lot of local people don't benefit because the big thing is, does that area even have the actual skill sets to even have jobs at Amazon, or even companies like Amazon? You know, just throwing out hypotheticals here. And a lot of times these areas become gentrified. Gentrification is real. It's happening. It's been happening for a long time, and didn't just happen overnight. It might seem like it happened overnight, especially in a lot of the major cities around the United States. But gentrification is on the rise, and it's already happened in Washington, D.C., and I guarantee it's going to continuously happen in Maryland and Northern Virginia, because the cost of living is going to continuously rise. Nothing you can really do about it, and either you're going to play the game so that you can win, or you're going to end up having to move 2 or 3 hours away from the area where all the jobs are at, because you think that you can play the game in the same old way, like in the 1970s and 80s, in regards to just having a job for 30 to 40 years, getting a nice retirement and the gold watch, and you know, your cost of living shouldn't go up that much significantly. But we do not live in those same times anymore, and I don't ever see the United States living in those same times anytime soon, you know. But this is just my perspective. A lot of other people feel the same way, and they even feel a little bit more about it, but that's another conversation for another day. So usually people don't really benefit from that, right? From area of success. And me and my associates, we're looking at this like, woohoo, yes, we're trying to benefit off of this. You know, it's like, hey, even though I'm trying to leave the DMV, I can still benefit from it. That's what the beautiful thing of living in the digital age. You can make investments anywhere you want to. You don't have to physically reside there. Okay, and we know that with Amazon coming, it's going to create a lot of opportunities for people who not only for people that didn't even think that they had these kind of opportunities for themselves, but they have to think outside of the box. And we have a lot of people who think inside of the box, and I think it has to do with, you know, just being around a certain population of people. You know, the old saying goes, you know, you are the people who you hang out with on a regular basis. And if everybody's just talking about trying to get a raise and a promotion, then that's usually, for the most part, what you're going to end up talking about. Because if you're the odd one in the group, most likely you end up getting kicked out of the group, or you don't even want to be a part associated with that group anymore. Me and my associates are looking at it from a, hey, we can benefit from this, and we can do it with real estate. You know, not just owning a house in the DMV, but owning a house and renting a house out, owning a house and selling a house. You know, so passive income and profit income. You know, that's just it's just another way of looking at it. You know, the real estate's already expensive right now, but it's going to get even worse in the future with all these people coming to the DMV area. Now, this video is definitely not for the people who are already entrepreneurs, successful in the different areas, especially if you're successful in real estate. You're already doing a great job. My hat goes off to you, and you're going to benefit. You already know you're going to benefit more with those jobs coming and those families coming. And then the thing is, more and more companies are going to be, this is the thing I didn't even think about, more and more companies are going to be created because Amazon's going to require contracted services for a lot of the new products that they're probably going to create here on the East Coast, just like they do on the West Coast. I've seen it out there. If you haven't been to Seattle to see their main headquarters, you got to go, because it's a definitely, you know, it's a big thing, and you can definitely see how Amazon and companies like Amazon have shifted the culture and the cost of living in the city of Seattle and around different parts of Washington State all at the same time. So it's really interesting. But it's like me and my associates were talking about the other day. Guess what? All these people that I was talking about, which is could probably be up to 50,000, are going to need some place to live. No matter what the economy goes up, it goes down. One thing we all have in common is we all need a place to live. And this is the time for everybody to take advantage of this specific opportunity. And because if you don't take advantage of this specific opportunity, you're going to end up working for somebody who did take advantage of this opportunity. And it's just facts. There's nothing to really argue about when it comes to that. I'm not right about everything, but I know I'm right about this, and because I talked about this with a lot of other different entrepreneurs who are already successful in this area. You know, and remember, I'm not talking about the people who are successful entrepreneurs. I'm talking about your average, everyday, run-of-the-mill DMV person who's got an association or in the United States military. Thank you for your service. Federal government employees, private government contractor, private sector employees who are just used to making money from an earned income and working a job and serving the country mentality. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm talking about the people who are even a great example, people who have, in those, a lot of times those people have six-figure salaries, but I'm actually talking about the people that actually have government, well-deserved government pensions, well-deserved military pensions. I'm talking about these people, okay? Everyday working people. You know, you need to change your mindset, because if you're willing to pay $300, $400, $500, some instances $600,000 or $700,000 to live in a home, but you're scared to partner up with people that, you know, to make passive income and get tax breaks because you can utilize it as a business, you know, that's a problem. You need to change your mindset. It's time to change the conversation and mentality of a lot of people that reside here in the DMV. And I'm just going to put it out there like that. It is time to change the mentality, because the cost of living in the DMV is high, and it's going to continuously go up. You can look at you can look at the numbers right then and there. You know, real talk. It's not a joke. It's not a game. It's real. You know, and the thing is, you have so many people who even make six-figure salaries, but they're still living paycheck to paycheck. Why is this? Because I don't know. It's because they love to live beyond their means, because they have a big thing of like loving to brag and show off useless nonsense that don't mean anything, like you're still in high school, you know, mentality. But that's just my personal opinion. I see it all the time. It doesn't do anything for me. We have enough high-paid people here and and big spenders and big buyers, but we need to, and you know, the big consumers, but we need to have more sellers. We need to have more business-minded people. You know, take out the instant gratification mentality. You know, and you know, buying useless nonsense. You know, put that same mentality that you put into shopping, loving your family, loving yourself. Put that same mentality into putting it into a business. You know, putting it into a business and putting it into investments. You know, I always say that, and the main reason why I say that is for this reason. One of my favorite entrepreneurs I love to listen to, Dr. Royce Watkins, says this once, twice, and I'll probably say it to the day he dies. He says, not everybody's meant to be a business owner. I understand that, quote unquote, but he says everybody is meant to be an investor. Everybody's meant to have backup plans so they can have that screw you money, in a sense, as he says. I'm not going to really say what he says, but that screw you, boss. I'm tired of working for you. I'm done with this performance appraisal nonsense. I'm done with it. I got enough in passive income and investments to say, okay, I can do something else and possibly just be an Uber driver. I've met a lot of happy Uber drivers who are starting their companies and loving the fact that they can work whenever they want to and be their own boss in a sense. Uber and Lyft drivers, I meet them all the time. They're probably some of the happiest people on the planet because they don't have to show up at a specific time to work a 9 to 5 anymore. You know, it's just becoming a dead thing. The freedom of how to, you know, to make money movement is alive and well, and it's going to get bigger and bigger. I just don't see it shrinking because people love that taste of freedom. That old school mentality has turned into death, and nobody wants to feel like they're dead waking up real early just so they can beat the 9 to 5 commute every day. Nobody really wants that, and I kind of understand it. It's not that serious, you know. So let's just keep it real at the end of the day, because see, the thing with the DMV area is the population is steadily rising. Okay, so with an area that's steadily rising, you know, and the value of the property, I threw a number out there like 150%. Just look at it, you know, compared to a lot of other parts of the United States. With Amazon coming, it could go up to 200 to 300%. Meaning that if your property is listed at 350, possibly could end up being 425 to 440,000 or more, because of the proximity, depending on the proximity of where the Amazon locations are going to be at. It's not just going to be in one location within the DMV area. So you have a good chance of your property going up. And then if you're renting, you know, your rent's going to go up. You know, it's the nature of the game. It's the nature of the beast. I mean, in this area, you see it happen when the stadium went into DC. The cost of living went up to a lot of folks couldn't afford to live there anymore. Same thing is happening right now in Prince George's County, where you see where is it at, in Oxon Hill area and Suitland area. That's considered to be prime real estate because of its proximity to where the MGM casino / hotel is, you know. And things are going to change in those specific areas. If you grew up in those areas, you need to think outside of the mentality that you were brought up with. If you're not thinking from an ownership perspective, if you only think about it from a have a job and pay bills perspective, you know, the game is not being played like that anymore, and it will not be played like that in the future. And I'm just keeping it real when I say this, you know. I'm just keeping it real because, you know, you got to ask yourself, do you want to benefit from this? And when I say from this, I'm meaning Amazon and companies like Amazon, because I was talking to my business partner the other day, and he was like, Apple might move their East Coast headquarters to Tyson's Corner. And that area is already expensive, and it's already a nightmare trying to get to work back and forth every day. You know, it's like, you have this information now. What are you going to do with it? You know, ownership is what it's all about. And when I say owning something, I'm meaning owning assets. That's things that produce passive and profit income. Okay? I've said this before, and I will say this again. If you think the DMV area is expensive, and you know, and you complain about things going up, you know, it's already definitely going to go up with these companies coming here, and the area is going to become more and more gentrified. There's no mistake about it. This has been happening all over the United States. Middle-class families have been unable to afford to live in major cities or near major cities, and because of the cost of living has been going up, either people have had to have 3 families live within a specific place, or families that have to live in a place that is so much more smaller, or families have to live an hour to 2 hours two and a half hours outside of the city to commute back and forth to work every day. So it's like you're spending not 8 hours, I would say 10 to 11 hours a day, about 12 hours a day between commuting and going to work every day. You have no life. A lot of the wages have stayed stagnated for a lot of families. So a lot of people, generations of people have been, in a sense, financially been kicked out of major cities because they've been playing the money game in the same old way by just earning a salary. You know, we live in the information age now. We know that the game is not played the same way, but we choose to just ignore it and let these things happen to us, you know, because especially when you're just earning money from earned income and not passive income, you know, your capabilities to do specific things from a financial standpoint is taken away from you. It shrinks, or it remains stagnated, and you can't have this mentality anymore. It just doesn't work. You know, 20 years ago, most people didn't know about all this information. That's the crazy thing. They didn't know about this information, but you know, in the age of information, not knowing this information is an excuse. And it's a horrible excuse at the same time. Don't be that person that has to move an hour to 2 hours away from Washington D.C. Okay, don't and say, oh, it's because I can't afford to live within the 20 to 30 minute radius of the DMV area. Because I know that there will be a lot of people complaining, like I was just doing, about the long commutes. But at the end of the day, the time to act is now. I say it again, the time to act is now. If you don't have the money, team up with people. If you don't know anybody, do what I do. Go to real estate investment events. Go to Thayer Merle. Go to RA Mentor. There's so many more out there that I don't even know about, but we can all research it together. Team up with the right people. If you want to team up with me, inbox me, call me, whatever. Let's team up. It's all about the teamwork. It's all about trying to do something better. This isn't a scam. This is just real talk. And if it's like I always say, either you're going to be a benefit from the economy or you're going to bitch and moan about the economy. But you have two choices here. Do you want to be on the complaining end of the economy, or do you want to be on the receiving end of the economy? Doesn't matter who the president is and who runs the Congress when it comes to economics. Okay, when there's a need out there, people are going to buy specific products. Okay, Amazon's filled that void and that need that people have. So you have to get on board. You have to be around people who will have a motivational mentality and spirit about them that is going to take you and your life and your family's life to the next level. Because if you're just depending on earned income and you lose your job today, you're in a very, very bad situation. Okay, that's all I got to say about that. Stop complaining and start doing. Now's the time that to just change your mindset, so that you can change your lifestyle. The beautiful thing about the digital age is that we can see this stuff coming. Generations ago, like my grandparents' generations and my parents' generation, they had knowledge. They were smart people. They were on the board. They were even harder working people compared to my generation and the younger generation. But they didn't have this information at their fingertips like we do today with a couple of clicks. Okay, with a couple of just shares. Just with a couple of emails. I can't tell you how many people that I ran into. Now, I'm just going to call it like it is. I can't tell you how many people that I ran into that hate sitting in this nonsense, that hate, you see the easy pass, having to pay sometimes $10 to $15 a day, sometimes even $30 to $40 a day. With the Thanksgiving traffic that's going to be there tomorrow here in the DMV, I know the easy pass is going to make some serious money. Hey, my hat's off to you. As the old folks would say, game recognizes game, and hey, you know what the situation is. You know who's going to benefit. Every time you gas your car up, the gas station benefits. Every time you have an issue with your car, the maintenance people have a benefit. Every time there's traffic, easy pass people benefit. Okay, somebody's capitalizing on your life every single day, every single action that you make, but you're not even acknowledging it and recognizing it and trying to take advantage of it. Okay, because this is going to be your future if all you want to do is get up and go to work every day. Okay, and this is going to be you sitting at your job saying to yourself, why do I have to be here? Why am I even stressed out? And if you're passionate about your job, you shouldn't even have to be like that. You should be at a place where at least you can work from home a couple of days, but you still want to have some sort of investments that give, even if your passive income's only $300 or $500 a month, it's better than nothing. You don't even have to spend it. Put it somewhere. If you want, put it in an investment, or put half of it in your savings account and put the other half in an investment. Think outside of the box, because if you don't, this will be your life, and it's not looking good. I'm just saying that. I'm not saying that I'm better than anybody, because I deal with this on a daily basis myself, but I'm working towards getting away from this nonsense. Okay, because there are alternatives, but it's for the people that think outside the box and willing to live outside the box and do things outside of the box. The risk takers. It's not meant for the people that just want to stay in the safe zone. It's meant for the risk takers. Okay, so if you want to stay in your comfort zone, then you created your own death sentence. It's kind of vague to say it, but I just call it like I see it. I met so many people that's from DC, that's from New York City, that's from Los Angeles, that told me if they knew now, back then, if they knew then what they knew now about the real estate potential and opportunities that was in Brooklyn, that was in Queens, as far as New York is concerned, the potential that's in DC, was the Berry Farms area, Southeast DC, then go to one of my favorite cities, Los Angeles, California. Compton and Watts and Inglewood used to be some of the roughest neighborhoods and cities within the city of Los Angeles, California. Now it's some of the most up and coming areas in Los Angeles, California. Little bitty houses that were built back in the 20s and 30s cost up to $700 to $1 million because of the location. It's not about the size of the real estate anymore. It's about the location. Period. Okay, it's about the location, and that's just a real thing. It's like, a lot of these places they're being gentrified. Philadelphia's being gentrified. It used to be one of the roughest cities in the United States, and now it's being gentrified, and it's getting expensive to the point where people can't afford to live there. That is the new future. It doesn't have nothing to do with the taxes. It's just about people being able to benefit off of living in a specific, off of owning real estate and assessing the value of it in a specific area. Because I've said this to a bunch of people all the time when we get into economic conversations. Great economic conversations, because that's what I love to talk about. It's like talking about sports for me. If a landowner or an apartment complex owner could charge $2,000 to $3,000 a month for a property in Louisiana, Mississippi, Florida, Alabama, some of the cheapest states, Arkansas, some of the cheapest states in the United States of America, or Pennsylvania, they would do it. But they know they have to look at it and see what the people can actually afford to pay. So they're actually going to charge the value of the specific property and what they know that the people can pay. Because it's great to have expensive real estate, but if nobody can afford to buy it, then that business goes out of business. It's just what it is. It's economics 101. You're going to get charged. It's supply and demand. You're going to get charged what the person charging knows that they can get. It's economics 101. No matter where you live at, they know in this area that people make high-paid salaries, $150,000 to $200,000 a year kind of salaries. They know people have military pensions. They know people have federal government pensions. They know people, for the most part, are financially conscientious to the point where they're going to make the money work for them in a sense. But now it's time to make the money work for us in a better sense, from a more of an investor perspective and a business owner perspective. Thinking outside of the box. That's what it's all about. Because if you don't, you're just not going to benefit, and I'm just going to call it like I see it. At the end of the day, you're just not going to benefit, and the numbers don't lie. If you're paying rent right now, I highly advise you within the next year to buy a property if you plan to stay in the DMV. If you're planning on leaving and you don't want to try to benefit here, financially, I totally get it. I totally respect it. Do what you got to do, but for the folks that want to stay here, the folks that love it here, it's time. If you're not investing and doing things from an investor/business perspective, you're doing it all wrong. Do not just work a job. I'm not talking like I'm better than you. I'm talking because I want to partner with you. I'm talking because I want you to partner with others. If you don't with me, do it with others. Practice group economics. All of the people do, especially you've seen a lot of people come to and this is for the local DMV people. You've seen a lot of people who have come to this country and come to the DMV and profit tremendously and open up their own grocery stores and open up their own restaurants because they practice group economics. And you've lived in Woodbridge or Fairfax or Manassas or Fredericksburg or PG County or Montgomery County or Washington DC, Arlington, Alexandria your whole life, but you don't profit the way they do because you're still living under the old mindset of, I just get a high-paying job so I can be better than everybody. I don't want to pull my resources together with anybody else. I'm too good for that. No, they're beating you, and you don't even realize it because you're not practicing group economics, not teaming up with the right people. If all you're doing is hanging out with people that have high-paid salaries and talking about that, it's time for you to get a new group of friends. That's my little personal take on it, because my mindset has changed. I hope your mindset will change. I hope you DMV people, you've enjoyed this video. Hopefully we get to team up with each other in the future. Please give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe. Please share. And I hope you guys have a great Thanksgiving holiday. Remember, this video is not talking down about anybody. It's just talking about changing up your mindset. Enjoy your time with your family. And remember what you're thankful for. I'm thankful for having good people in my life. Great new partnerships in my life, and looking forward to even more partnerships in my life. And I'm looking forward to taking my family's name to the next level and not just the standardized level. So I leave it at that. You guys take it easy and have a great day.